intermittent fasting, eating within a confined window of time during the day. Usually people utilize anywhere from like a 16-hour fast with an 8-hour feeding window to an even smaller. I mean, like the so-called warrior diet is a 20-hour fast with a 4-hour feeding window. Um, 16-8 intermittent fasting was mostly popularized by Martin Berkman and Lean Gains. Um, but intermittent fasting is not a diet, it is a schedule of when you eat your food. It can be highly effective. I talked about it in another video, and I'll probably talk about it in some videos in the future. It is a powerful tool, not the ultimate tool, not the only tool that one needs to utilize in order to lose body fat, get lean, or put on lean muscle. But intermittent fasting is a powerful and useful tool for many individuals. So this video is titled How to Start Intermittent Fasting and the 7 Simple Rules for IF, intermittent fasting. So the first rule is there is an adaptation period. You have to realize that you're not going to feel wonderful on your first day of intermittent fasting. If you've never fasted more than like 12 hours in your life, and you start trying to fast for 16, 18, or 20 hours right off the bat, you are probably going to feel suboptimal. You might get less than your normal output from your brain function, and your performance with exercise, with physical activity, as well as mental and cognitive activity, will likely decline. Now, this does get better. You do adapt to this feeding schedule. Your body becomes accustomed to utilizing ketone bodies, utilizing fatty acids, kind of being on the outskirts of ketosis if you're using a carbohydrate-based diet. Now, if you're on a ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting is a breeze. You've already pretty much adapted to it, and you utilize ketones effectively and can tap into body fat very easily and can go long periods of time without feeling a lack when you're not eating. But yeah, intermittent fasting, there's an adaptation period. After a few days, you'll probably feel better. Sometimes it takes people a little bit longer to feel optimal, but during that period, don't expect maximum output performance in the gym. Expect to feel a little bit hungry when you're normally eating and you're pushing back your window, or if you're pushing back your eating window to earlier in the day and you're skipping dinner, expect to feel hunger during that time. Now, this does subside, your body becomes accustomed to it, and you can do it effortlessly and feel very little hunger, but in the beginning, it might feel suboptimal. So, the second rule, and this will kind of help you with that adaptation period, is start with a longer eating window. If you've never done intermittent fasting before, if you're not adapted to like a ketogenic diet to where you're already effectively able to fast for long periods of time very easily without feeling any hunger, you're going to have a harder time doing these very short feeding windows and longer fasts. So maybe start with just a simple 12-hour fast. Then after a few days, after you feel accustomed to not eating for that 12 hours, you can push it 14-hour fast. Then gradually you make your way up to your optimal eating window. A lot of people like to utilize a 16-8. That allows you to eat within an 8-hour window. And I'll talk about some of the benefits of that feeding window later. But don't just try to jump right into it. Go for like a 24-hour fast and stuff all your calories in one day. You're not going to feel very good, and you're not going to get all the benefits of it because you're probably going to mess with your digestion and just feel suboptimal all day if you do it that way. So ease into it. That was rule number 2. Number 3. No food during the fast. A lot of people ask me about, like, can I drink, I drink bulletproof coffee in the morning and then I don't eat till lunch. Isn't that a great way to lose fat? No! Drinking a bunch of calories from fat with coffee in the morning is not going to allow you to efficiently, effectively, and sustainably burn your own body fat. You want to be burning your own body fat. So no food. Now, some people like to drink coffee. Some black coffee. This is super, super low in calories. I forget how many calories. The black coffee will be fine. Herbal teas will be fine. Of course, water is absolutely fine. But you don't want to be eating little nibbles here and there. You want to eat no food. You want your insulin to be nil. You don't want any food coming into your body during that fasting period. So, don't eat food. Real simple rule, but sometimes people like to play with these fad diets. I don't know, this bulletproof coffee guy is telling people it's bulletproof intermittent fasting, where you just put butter and MCT oil and coconut oil in your coffee, trademark, and that will make you burn body fat and lose body fat. That is not how it works. Yes, you will be burning fat during that period, but you'll be burning that fat that you ate. The fat that you ate in your coffee that you drank. So, no food. That's rule number 3. Rule number 4, don't push your workouts too hard, especially in the beginning. Now, some people might be offended by this because there's a lot of people who utilize intermittent fasting very effectively and get fasted workouts in and are able to perform better when they're doing their fasted workouts than they do if they're fed. Now, this is not going to be everybody. Very few people are going to be able to efficiently and effectively work out in a fasted state. So don't try and push your workouts to these extremes. You don't need to do intermittent fasting every single day. If you've got an intense workout, if you've got a high activity day, intermittent fasting might not be the best thing to utilize that day. You might want to eat earlier in the day or before your activity. Me personally, most of the time I'm on a ketogenic diet for many reasons. And I can get in good workouts fasted, but I do find, because I'm at a pretty low level of body fat, I'm relatively lean all the time, I do find that I do better and I feel better. And that could be psychosomatic, but I do find that I feel better in my workouts when I am fed. My hunger is very, very low, and I've been told, all right, you've got amino acids and fatty acids to burn for energy. Everything's good. Go for it. Put that energy out. Go kill it in the gym or go for a long hike or something. I do better when I'm fed. Now, I can do workouts fasted and get a great workout in. But if you're trying to maintain muscle mass or even build lean muscle mass, you're going to probably get in a much better workout and be able to put out much more energy and get those last few reps in, squeeze those last few reps out so that you can effectively create a hypertrophy response and build muscle more effectively. In order to do that, you're probably going to want to eat before you do it. But some people might be able to effectively and efficiently work out fasted. That's fine. I'm not saying nobody can do that, but I'm saying most people in the beginning don't expect the most awesome workouts, especially while you're adapting to that eating window. Maybe take it easy on the workouts. Maybe don't go for your heaviest days when you're intermittent fasting. It might not be, you might not get the best results. Of course, there's outliers and there's people who can do very well with fasted workouts. But for most individuals, fasted workouts will not yield you the optimal results as far as building lean muscle mass. And also, intermittent fasting probably won't give you optimal results as far as just building lean muscle mass. Although you can effectively build muscle in intermittent fasting. So that was rule number 4. Don't work out too hard, especially in the beginning. Don't stress on it. You will adapt to the diet, and your workouts will get better if you're doing fasted workouts. So the 5th rule, now this is a really important one, is don't gorge too much on your meals. A lot of the times when people do intermittent fasting, especially in the beginning, they'll make the mistake of waiting until they're so hungry. Their hunger will be so high by the time they eat that they just clear that plate within minutes, not even chewing your food. That's where your digestion begins, in your mouth. You got to chew that food to effectively digest it. If you're just swallowing bites whole, taking down 3 plates of food, 3 times as much food as you would normally eat in a meal, you're not going to have optimal digestion, and you might even create problems with your digestion. You might even create gastrointestinal distress that will inhibit your ability to build lean muscle, but will also create inflammation responses and make it very difficult for you to feel good throughout the day, for you to perform optimally, both physically and mentally. So just don't eat too much at your meals. That's why starting out with a little bit broader eating window, feeding for 8 hours or longer, will allow you to get several meals in. So you're not just stuffing your face, inhaling all your food and not digesting it and wasting those nutrients. Because people say you are what you eat, right? But we don't digest all that we eat. We're not chewing our food. If we're eating way too much, we're not going to assimilate and utilize those nutrients effectively. So take it easy on those meals. Make sure you're not overfeeding during your meals and creating a negative feedback loop with your digestion. A lot of people get issues with that, and that can make your your feeding window during intermittent fasting kind of unsustainable and unenjoyable. Might be spending long hours on the toilet the next day, so you don't want to do that. Number 6, intermittent fasting. This is rule number 6. Intermittent fasting will not negate negative, poor diet and lifestyle habits. Don't expect awesome results doing intermittent fasting if you're eating a bunch of crap food. The importance of hitting your macronutrient necessities, getting enough fatty acids in, getting enough, if you're on a carbohydrate diet, getting enough carbohydrates in, or not getting too much carbohydrate content and not eating too much fats, and making sure you hit your protein is still going to be important. Macronutrients don't just fly out the door. The importance of nutrition, of the quality of your food, isn't negated by intermittent fasting. So don't expect to get awesome results on a if it fits your microwave diet, eating Pop-Tarts and whey protein powder, just a bunch of processed foods. Get your nutrition from whole foods, from whole, nutritious, nutrient-dense foods. Very basic concept, but a lot of people seem to miss that. Everyone wants a shortcut. Nobody wants to put in the hard work. Hard work. It's actually not hard work growing up and eating big boy foods, big girl foods, dropping the Pop-Tarts and candy and pizza, and eating nutritious quality foods. Now, I'm not saying, oh, you can never eat pizza again, or pizza's always bad. But look, stay off the junk food. Do nutrient-dense, high-quality foods. And, yeah, if you're going to try to do an if it fits your microwave Pop-Tart-based diet, you're not going to reap all the health benefits of intermittent fasting. You're not going to reap all of the body composition benefits if you're overeating a bunch of junk food all the time. So that's rule number 6. Real basic. Now the last rule, rule number 7, is really, really important. And this is like the most basic one. But it's so important. A lot of people forget about this. A lot of clients that I work with tell me how much water they drink, and it's absurd how little so many people drink. But you got to drink a bunch of water. You got to stay hydrated. When you're doing intermittent fasting, you're kind of on the outskirts of ketosis. You're utilizing, most people find that when they do a ketogenic diet, they're much more thirsty. They utilize a lot of water. They dump a lot of water way quicker for whatever reason. We'll get into the science of that in another video. But when you're kind of on the outskirts of ketosis for those hours during your intermittent fasting window, you got to get in water. You need to be hydrated. So drink sufficient water. I would also say get out in the sunlight, get some natural vitamin D. I mean, these are all lifestyle habits that will benefit everybody. Whether you're trying to lose weight, gain muscle, or just live a healthy lifestyle in general, you need hydration. So don't forget to drink water. For most people, I don't know, a lot of the clients that I work with, I tell them, first of all, make sure you're drinking 3 liters of water a day. And if that feels like a lot to you, it means you've been drinking way too little water. You should be drinking at least 4, more liters of water per day. Water can help you to decrease your hunger, decrease those hunger signals. Because first of all, a lot of times when we're hungry, we think we're hungry, when we think we feel hungry, we might just be thirsty and dehydrated. So drink a lot of water. I mean, where I live right now, I live in Ecuador, and the air is really dry right now. My lips get dry and chapped, especially when I'm outside a little bit. So I drink a lot of water, and everybody needs to drink a lot of water. Most people do not get enough. So that's rule number 7. Drink a lot of water. So I'll go through these rules one more time. These are the 7 simple rules for starting intermittent fasting. Number 1, there's an adaptation period. It takes a little time to adapt and to feel optimal on it. Number 2, rule number 2, start with a longer eating window. Start with a longer feeding window. Ease into it. Number 3, baby wasp on my notebook. Number 3, no food. No bulletproof coffee. Not just like one bite of apple. No food. Nothing. During that fasting window. Just drink water. Number 4, well, tea is fine too. A little bit of black coffee is fine too. Number 4, don't push too hard on your workouts, especially in the beginning while you're kind of adapting to the diet. Don't get too crazy with those fasted workouts. If you want to go really hard one day, if you've got a really harsh day, or if you want to do really heavy, you want to break PRs, go for a 1 rep max or something, you probably want to eat before that. So maybe do it in your eating window, or don't do intermittent fasting that day. You don't need to do intermittent fasting every single day to reap a lot of the benefits of it. It's a tool, not a dogma. So rule number 5, don't gorge too much in your meals. Don't overfeed. And overfeeding in general will not allow you to lose body fat, but also If you're intermittent fasting and you're stuffing your mouth with too much food, you're stuffing your gut full of too much food, you're not going to be properly digesting your nutrients, and you could cause some issues with your digestion. Nobody wants that. Rule number 6, intermittent fasting is not going to negate bad habits. It's not going to negate poor lifestyle and diet choices. It's not a magic wand that's just going to fix everything, make you get lean regardless of what you eat. Number 7, drink a lot of water. So those are the rules. Intermittent fasting is a great tool. I've talked about this in some other videos, and I'll talk about it in the future and probably make some more videos about IF, intermittent fasting. Powerful tool, not magic. Not going to magically get you results regardless of your lifestyle choices, but many benefits to intermittent fasting. So you can check us out, www.primaledgehealth.com, for more, and I'll see you next time.